Ryan Reynolds, Phil Parkinson, a secret dinner in London, and the media saying our gaffer was about to get the sack. But here's what actually happened that nobody's telling you. Alright Wrexham fans, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because we covered the Red Dragons like nobody else. 3 massive stories for you today about Wrexham AFC, and trust me, you absolutely need to stick around for the last one. It's a proper game changer that involves Reynolds, Parkinson, and the truth behind those wild rumours you've been hearing. But first, let's talk injuries.
So we've got a bit of a situation brewing in the treatment room at the racecourse. 3 lads are currently being assessed after picking up minor knocks. We're talking Elliot Lee, Ben Sheaf, and Ollie Rathbone. Now before you panic, Parkinson's come out and said none of these are serious, but let's break down what's actually going on. Sheaf, our summer signing, missed Wednesday night's brilliant 1-0 win over Oxford because of a groin issue. Nothing major apparently, just felt some tightness after striking a ball in training. With Matty James, George Dobson and George Thomason all available, the gaffer didn't need to risk him. Rathbone's been out since pre-season with an ankle injury, hasn't played a single minute this campaign. Just when you thought he was close to returning, he's felt tightness in his thigh during training this week. Frustrating for the lad. Absolutely gutting, really. Then there's Elliot Lee. He's only featured in the EFL Cup so far this season, and now he's got a knee complaint that needs a specialist to have a look at. Again, Parkinson's saying it's not serious, but you want your squad depth available, especially in League One. The good news? All 3 are being assessed before Saturday's trip to Middlesbrough at the Riverside. With the quality we've got in that midfield, we can manage without them for now. But let's not forget we're still without Jay Rodriguez, Danny Ward, Andy Cannon, Harry Ashfield and Aaron James long term. But that's not the only news coming out of the racecourse. George Dobson's been absolutely buzzing lately, and for good reason. Our boys come out and said Wrexham are finally showing signs of being a good team after extending our unbeaten run in the league to 5 matches. That's right, 5 games without a loss heading into this international break. Listen to this. We beat Charlton 1-0 last weekend, Dobson's former club by the way, which made it 3 wins in 3 at the racecourse. The atmosphere there's been electric and you can feel the team starting to click. Dobson's been honest about the adjustment period. 13 new signings in the summer, 3 new stands at Stoke Ras. It was always going to take time for everything to gel. He reckons they knew it would need 5 or 6 games to find their rhythm on the pitch, and that's exactly what's happened. Here's what's impressive though. We've lost just 1 of our last 10 matches. 1! That's championship quality right there. Dobson said it himself. We're really starting to build a team and showing signs we can be a good team. And can we talk about Josh Windass for a second? 5 goals already. Came off the bench to score that penalty winner against Charlton. His first goal at home since joining us. Dobson was brilliant about it too. Said Windass told him he doesn't usually score many at home, and Dobson joked that he better change that. Well, he did exactly that. The quality in this squad is undeniable. We're sitting 13th in the championship right now, finding our feet at this level after those back-to-back promotions. Things are looking up. Now, those were both big updates, but what I'm about to tell you next could completely reshape how you see this entire season. This is massive, and it involves the Hollywood owners, our gaffer, and rumours that sent Wrexham fans into an absolute meltdown. Stay with me. Right, here we go. The story everyone's been waiting for. Michael Williamson, our chief executive, has just revealed the truth behind those explosive rumours that Phil Parkinson was about to get sacked. And let me tell you, what actually happened is completely different from what the media was spinning. Let's rewind to September. We'd had a nightmare start to the championship season. 3 losses in our opening 5 league fixtures. We were sat in the relegation zone and the pressure was building. Then came that horrible 3-0 home defeat to QPR, Ryan Reynolds watching from the stands at the racecourse. That's when the rumours exploded. Reports started flying around that Reynolds had held crisis talks with Parkinson about his position. The media went into overdrive. Wrexham fans were divided, some backing the gaffer who delivered 3 consecutive promotions, others wondering if we needed a change to survive in the Championship. And non-executive director Sean Harvey came out calling the speculation an absolute disgrace. But the damage was done. The noise was deafening. everyone had an opinion on whether Parkinson's job was safe. But here's what nobody's talking about yet. Here's what actually happened. Williamson's now come out and revealed that yes, Ryan and Parkinson did meet. But it wasn't some tense boardroom showdown about the manager's future, not even close. Reynolds was in London filming, right? He'd flown over from the States, had some spare time the night before the QPR match, and decided to invite Phil and Williamson out for dinner. That's it. A casual dinner between colleagues. Williamson couldn't even make it because he had date night with his wife. Listen to Williamson's exact words. Ryan was in London doing some filming and he came up the night before the match. He didn't have any real plans and he invited Phil and I to dinner. That's the irony of it, that after all these conversations about discussions, Phil and Ryan had a great dinner. An early dinner, a fun conversation, two blokes catching up while one of them happened to be in town. That's the big secret meeting that nearly broke the internet. This is where it gets interesting though. What does this tell us about Reynolds and McElhenney's approach to running this football club? They backed Parkinson with 33 million quid in the summer, 13 new signings. That's not the behaviour of owners who don't trust their manager. That's serious investment, proper commitment to giving him the tools to compete at championship level. And look at what's happened since that QPR defeat. 1 loss in the league, 1. We're unbeaten in 5, sitting comfortably in 13th, and suddenly that slow start feels like exactly what it was. An adjustment period for a team learning to compete 2 divisions higher than where we were just 3 years ago. Here's what I think this really reveals. Reynolds and McElhenney aren't your typical trigger-happy football owners. They could have panicked when we were in the relegation zone. They could have made a change, brought in someone with more championship experience, but they didn't. They trusted the process. They trusted the man who took us from the National League to the Championship. And that trust is now being repaid on the pitch. Think about the pressure Parkinson was under. Welcome to Wrexham documenting everything. Global fan base watching every move. Media scrutiny unlike anything this club has ever experienced. And through it all, his bosses never wavered. That 1-0 win over Charlton last weekend, that's the form of a team that believes in its manager. Dobson talking about building something special, that's the voice of a dressing room that's united. Windass coming off the bench to deliver crucial goals, that's squad depth finally paying off. What happens next? We've got Middlesbrough away on Saturday after this international break. Tough test, no doubt about it. But this team's showing resilience, character and quality. We're adapting to championship football exactly like Parkinson said we would. The Hollywood ownership adds glamour, sure. The documentary brings attention. But at the heart of this club is a proper football manager doing things the right way, backed by owners who understand that building something special takes time. And that dinner in London, that wasn't crisis talks. That was Ryan checking in with his manager, showing support when the noise was loudest. That's leadership. So, there you have it. 3 injury concerns, but nothing serious. Dobson and the lads hitting form at exactly the right time, and the truth behind those sack rumours that had everyone panicking. Here's what I think happens next. We keep building, keep improving, and by Christmas, we're pushing towards that top 6. Parkinson's earned the right to see this project through, and Reynolds clearly agrees. From National League to Championship in 3 years, Hollywood owners who actually trust football people, a community that bleeds red. This is Wrexham AFC, and we're just getting started. Let me know what you think in the comments. Were you worried about Parkinson's job? Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Reds.